Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, we bring you a story full of surprises and hidden angles that few people know about. Don't leave just yet. Just when you think you've figured it all out, there are fascinating and meaningful details waiting for you at the end of the video. Let's explore together and uncover the special message this video has for you. Are you ready? Let's get started. A profound disturbance swept across the kingdom. A boy of noble lineage had been born, and the mystic seers warned King Alapai that this child was destined to overthrow the chiefs and unify the island of Hawaii. Fearing the prophecy, Alapai ordered the boy's death. Yet, the child's mother, a cunning chiefess, devised a plan to protect him, entrusting his care to a loyal family who raised him in secrecy. For 5 years, the boy eluded capture and death, until the king eventually allowed his return to court. He grew into a towering, formidable figure, marked by an aura of prophecy. The people called him Kamehameha, meaning the lonely one. Following King Alapai's death, the throne passed to King Kalaniʻopiu. As Kalaniʻopiu neared the end of his life, a succession crisis loomed. Rival chiefs vied for power amidst the tumultuous years following the arrival of Captain Cook and the first European contact. Kalaniʻopiu intended for his son, Kawalio, to inherit the throne, but he granted Kamehameha sacred lands and made him the guardian of Kakuilamoku, the war god. The religion of the islands traced its origins to the bold Polynesian navigators who first settled the archipelago centuries earlier. Central to their beliefs was the concept of aloha, embodying kindness, familial love, and harmony. Reverence for the land flourished, from the vibrant coral reefs to the majestic volcanic peaks. Their gods imbued the world with mana, a divine energy that permeated people, prayers, and nature. This mana, however, was not evenly distributed. Those of noble blood held it in abundance, granting chiefs and kings the authority to impose kapu, a sacred code of laws. These kapu dictated strict social and spiritual hierarchies, forbidding women from dining with men or consuming certain sacred foods. Violations often carried the ultimate punishment, death. Denied the throne, Kamehameha rebelled. To consolidate his mana, he sacrificed a rebellious noble, absorbing the spiritual power of his adversary. Upon Kalaniʻopiu's death, the kingdom descended into chaos. Kawalio ascended as king, but his cousin Keuakuʻula attacked Kamehameha's lands, sacrificing captives to assert dominance. Kamehameha rallied his warriors, and fierce battles ensued. Amidst the clashes, Kawalio was killed, struck by a stone, and finished by a warrior's shark-toothed dagger. Kamehameha emerged as ruler over half the island. Keuakuʻula retreated to the south, vowing revenge. For years, the chiefs of Hawaii resisted Kamehameha's ambitions, with territorial lines firmly drawn. A turning point came not from battle, but from foreign intervention. Simon Metcalfe, an American trader, anchored off Maui to avenge the killing of one of his crew by the locals. Provoked by what he perceived as an insult, Metcalfe unleashed cannon fire on the village of Olowalu, massacring unarmed men and women who had approached peacefully. His son, Thomas Metcalfe, unaware of his father's actions, later arrived in Hawaii to trade but fell victim to retaliation. Hawaiians seized his ship, killed the crew, and spared only 2 foreigners, Isaac Davis, whose bravery impressed them, and John Young, who had been stranded after Metcalfe's earlier deeds. Presented to Kamehameha, the 2 men were given a choice: death or lives of privilege in the king's service. They wisely chose the latter, becoming trusted advisors. Kamehameha lavished them with homes, feasts, and wives, tasking them with training his forces to wield muskets and cannons from captured ships. Their efforts transformed Kamehameha's army into a formidable force, bolstered by trade alliances with American and British ships. Even Kaina, a trusted chief who had traveled to China and America, contributed to the influx of firearms and artillery, providing Kamehameha with the means to conquer his enemies. The mighty ruler Kahekili of Maui was a man of fearsome reputation, known for his ruthless conquest of Oahu. Legends tell of his gruesome house constructed from the bones of vanquished chiefs who dared oppose him. Some whispered that he was Kamehameha's true father, though such rumors mattered little to the tides of history. Kamehameha, determined to expand his dominion, launched an invasion of Maui, clashing with Kaikili's son, Kalani Kupule. With the lethal precision of Young and Davis operating the cannons, Kamehameha's forces unleashed devastation, their slaughter staining the rivers red. Yet, Maui eluded conquest. In his absence, Kamehameha's old nemesis, Keokuula, ravaged the lands of Hawaii Island, leaving destruction in his wake. Returning with his cannon-armed warriors, Kamehameha drove Kiowa's forces into the treacherous ashlands of a volcano. There, nature itself seemed to intervene. An eruption spewed poisonous gases that decimated hundreds of Kiowa's men. Still, the euphoria of victory was short-lived. Kaikili, armed with his own European weapons, forged a coalition of island leaders against Kamehameha. Their fleet desecrated sacred temples along Hawaii's northern shores, but Kamehameha's forces met them at sea. Muskets and cannons splintered the invaders' ships, scattering their armada. The islands, however, could not remain divided. Seeking to end the conflict, Kamehameha extended an invitation of peace to Kiowa. The rebel chief approached in a canoe, wary of treachery, his suspicions evident as he mutilated himself to disqualify his body from being offered in sacrifice. Kamehameha, standing beneath his newly built lavastone temple on the Hill of the Whale, called out with a seemingly reassuring tone, "Rise and come here, that we may know each other." But as Kiowa stepped ashore, Kamehameha and his warriors struck him down, killing him and his entourage. Their bodies were taken to the temple, their flesh melted away, and their mana, the sacred spiritual energy, was harvested. With this act, Kamehameha secured undisputed rule over Hawaii Island. Kaikili's death in 1794 left his son, Kalani Kupule, as ruler of Oahu. The younger chief conquered Maui and sought to strengthen his position by seizing British trade ships. Kamehameha, however, courted alliances with foreign powers, leveraging diplomacy to gain weapons and resources. Armed with a formidable force of 10,000 warriors, Kamehameha invaded Maui, sweeping across the island before advancing to Oahu. On Oahu's hills, Kamehameha's forces encountered resistance under the command of Kaiana, a former ally turned traitor. A cannonball struck Kaiana down, and Kamehameha's warriors pressed the attack, driving the enemy back to the cliffside stronghold of New Wanapali. There, the battle reached its grisly climax. Trapped between Kamehameha's relentless warriors and the sheer drop of the cliffs, many of Kalani Kupule's men were slaughtered or forced over the precipice. The valley below became a horrific tableau of broken bodies, their mana claimed by beheading the dead. Kalani Kupule was eventually found, wounded and hiding in the mountains. Dragged before Kamehameha at the Hill of the Whale, he met his end in ritual sacrifice. With this, all the islands except Kauai and its neighbor Niihau fell under Kamehameha's rule. Kamehameha's attempt to conquer Kauai ended in disaster, as a fierce tempest decimated his fleet. Survivors who reached Kauai's shores were captured and sacrificed. Such was the brutal nature of Hawaiian warfare. No mercy shown, even to civilians. A chilling account tells of a boy watching Kamehameha's warriors overrun his village, killing his parents and spearing his infant brother as he tried to escape. Yet, amidst this savagery, Kamehameha enacted a remarkable decree. Presented with villagers who had once struck him with a paddle in defense of their home, the king pardoned them. He declared the law of the splintered paddle, commanding, "See to it that our aged, our women, and our children lie down to sleep by the roadside without fear of harm." From that day forward, non-combatants were protected under his sacred kapu, a testament to his vision of unity and justice. Under Kamehameha's reign, the relentless warring of the old chief ceased, replaced by alliances forged through strategic marriages, including one to the 12-year-old Keopuolani, the revered daughter of his slain rival, Kawalio. The islands flourished under this newfound peace, with the people paying tribute, cultivating fertile lands, and fishing along tranquil shores. Yet, prosperity could not temper Kamehameha's unyielding ambition to conquer Kauai. Kauai was ruled by Kamwaliai, a king who presided over an island renowned for its independence. As Kamehameha prepared his invasion, a deadly pestilence, likely cholera, swept through his army, decimating his forces. Believing it to be divine retribution, Kamehameha punished 3 men accused of breaking the kapu by consuming forbidden foods. Their punishment was brutal. Their eyes were torn from their sockets, their limbs broken, and their lives sacrificed to the gods. By 1810, Kamehameha had rebuilt his forces and was poised for a renewed assault. First, he sent a letter and a sacred feather cloak to King George III of Britain, his distant ally. At the time, the British crown was embroiled in the Napoleonic Wars, and Kamehameha shrewdly requested military supplies, including a ship and brass cannons, to bolster his campaign. His power, wealth, and influence had reached new heights, funded in part by forcing commoners into the mountains to harvest sandalwood. This valuable resource was traded to Americans and sold in China, enriching Kamehameha and his chiefs, but leaving his people impoverished and starving. Kamwaliai, faced with the might of Kamehameha's kingdom and the looming threat of annihilation, surrendered without bloodshed. Kamehameha, now the undisputed ruler of the unified Hawaiian Islands, welcomed him with a grand feast. However, the celebration was tainted by treachery. Isaac Davis, a trusted advisor, warned Kamwaliai of a plot by disloyal chiefs to poison him. Kamwaliai escaped, but the conspirators turned their poison on Davis instead. Grieved by the loss, Kamehameha reflected on his kingdom's suffering. Recognizing the toll of his pursuit of wealth, he reversed his commands and redirected efforts toward agricultural production, restoring food security for his people. By the time of his death in 1819, Kamehameha had transformed from a fierce warrior capable of ruthless acts to a wise and measured ruler. His many wives and children gathered by his side as he succumbed to illness. His favorite wife, Kamehameha, would play a pivotal role in the kingdom's future. Following Kamehameha's passing, she advised his successor to dismantle the kapu system, a decision that abolished human sacrifice, curtailed the harsh punishments of old laws, and elevated women's roles in society. Statues of the ancient gods were toppled, and the influence of American missionaries brought Christianity to the islands, alongside foreign traders and investors whose ambitions often brought disease and exploitation. Yet, amid these sweeping changes, the ancient songs, ceremonies, and enduring spirit of aloha remained ingrained in the people's hearts. Kamehameha fulfilled the prophecy of uniting the islands, leaving behind a legacy of unity and peace. He died having established the Kingdom of Hawaii, a testament to his unparalleled leadership and vision. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. If you found this story interesting and meaningful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any exciting content coming up. Leave a comment to share your thoughts. We're eager to hear from you. See you in the upcoming videos with more unique and meaningful stories. Stay with us.